For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone here at a very happy Moody Coliseum where the Wildcat men's basketball team just knocked off McNeese State 75-67. We've got head coach Joe Golding. We've got freshman Jaylen Franklin. Jaylen, 29 points tonight. At one point, you had 15 consecutive points. You can use all kinds of terms in the zone, feeling it. What was going on out there in the second half?
Like you said, I was in the zone. Coach kept calling my number, and I kept attacking, and I produced, I can say.
Is it hard for a freshman to take over games when you know that there are guys like Austin Cook and Durant Porter and Parker Wentz seniors who've been here for 4 years? Do you ever wonder sometimes if you should go out there and try to take it over?
Yeah, because we got a lot of great players that can take over games. I mean, we got Parker Wentz that he's a threat at the 3-point, and you got Isaiah Tripp as attacker rim, Jalen Little that can get teammates involved, and you got Dew that can demolish people in the paint. So yeah.
But there are times when this team does need you to take over. So that can be a mental challenge, I would think, for a freshman. Is it sometimes?
Yes, sir. You could say that. When the time I need to take over, I think coach would let me know, or he would just keep calling my number.
Jaylen, I saw you as the final seconds were ticking off. You exchanged an embrace with Jemiah Burr, number 1 from McNeese State. He was pretty good tonight, too. When you get in a game like that, what does it feel like when you have two guys who at stretches are taking over the game?
I mean, you got two guys that just really want to win, and it gets very competitive, and they just they just want to put the team on their back just to get a W.
Well, let's talk to your coach here. Coach, he's a freshman, but he did put this team on his back tonight, didn't he?
No, there's no question. But I think to answer your question earlier, he wouldn't have done that a month or two ago, and I think this is the growth in Jaylen Franklin, and we've always known he's had it in there, and the best is yet to come, trust me. The important thing tonight, I thought he had 0 turnovers. He has 4 assists and 0 turnovers.
And 6 steals.
And the ball was in 6 steals, and I challenged him big time at halftime and at a couple timeouts. I didn't think he was getting up the line. I didn't think he was working hard enough on the defensive end, and he answered that, and that's a good thing. It makes your coaches look good when you challenge kids and then they respond. And I'll tell you to that other answer about him taking over is that locker room is his biggest fan. And early it's hard for freshmen to take over. There's no question, and you don't feel like you should. And then sometimes you feel like maybe I'm doing too much, and I'm a freshman, and I got seniors, and how they look like are they still going to be my friend, and I got to get them involved. And that bench, every single one was like feed Jaylen Franklin the ball. In that locker room, they're so happy for him because he makes us a better team when he does that. And the growth of him is he's not just plowing over people now or taking tough shots. When he got to the rim, he finished on his opportunities, and then when the opportunities were there, when they were there and they closed him, he made the extra pass. A perfect example is they're late to Jaron Lewis, but he made a couple assists to Durant Porter, and he made more than that. We just didn't make some shots, and so that locker room 100% completely supports Jaylen Franklin, just like Jaylen Franklin supports those guys in that locker room. They're unselfish kids. All they want to do is win, and that's what makes this thing work.
There are locker rooms in certain years with certain teams where a freshman taking over would not go well, would it?
There's no doubt. And when you go flat like that, you're basically telling guys, hey, just sit there with your feet and your hands ready to shoot the basketball if it comes to you. If not, and you're not involved in the possession, that's tough for a pill for some kids to swallow, but not in our locker room. We've got incredible senior leadership from day one. They've been great, and they knew that gave us the best chance to win tonight, and that all that matters is getting a win. And they say that all the time, when seniors, all they want to do is win, and I think that's contagious for Jaylen and his classmates to see guys like that, because Jaylen will grow when he's a junior and senior. He won't have a hard time mentally. He will have done it, but he'll be able to pass that on to the rest of the guys, and not just him. Jaron Lewis and Hayden Farquhar and Hayden Howe, Jelani and BJ and that whole group. And so that's a special thing about this team. And I've said it a lot, and I'll continue to say it. That senior class is an incredible group of kids. And I said it with you on the radio. I mean, you look at Jalen Little doesn't play the last 3.5 minutes, and he's Jaylen Franklin's biggest teammate over there on the bench. He's going crazy for him, and that's tough. That's tough to do when you're a senior, because I know how much Jaylen wants to win that game, but he knew that Jaylen Franklin on the floor gave a special chance, and we were going to go back in for him, but then Jovan did a great job defensively on Burr there at late, making him with a little bit more size, and so that's just a credit to our locker room, then credit to the leadership of our team.
Coach, not to overdo the mental side of things, but when I look at this team that's now 3-2 in the conference, you lose a kick-in-the-gut game to Nichols on the road by 1. You lose a blowout game to Stephen F. last Saturday, and in each case you come back. You've taken 2 different kinds of punches and come back And you do it tonight against a team that's going to, I would imagine, is going to win a bunch of games this year.
Yeah, I think so. I think McNeese is very well coached. They've had a brutal opening to their schedule. And, you look like last year we were 3-1 going to their place. They were 0-4 at the time, and then they beat us. And so to come back here and to protect home floor and beat them, they have a ton of confidence beating Sam Houston State. They shot the ball extremely well. They came in here thinking they were fixing to get 2 in a row and get this thing rolling. And I do think they'll get it rolling. I do think they're going to win a lot of games. They're tough defensively because they make it hard to get easy baskets with their size. They play in gaps. You got to really hit shots and you got to beat them off. And then offensively on their end, they spread you out. They got an all-conference player inside that averages almost a double-double, and then they got guards that hit tough shots. And so we knew it was going to be a battle. I thought a couple times we got close to pulling it away, but we didn't. But it's a typical Southland Conference game. They're not going to let it get away, and we're trying to get it up there. And it comes down to a couple possessions, and we were able to make plays. It's easy as a coach when you can, really run a certain play. We've worked on that a ton, to give him the ball and get out of the way.
Yeah, great. In fact, so
Severs everyone in Moody Coliseum. I think they called it up. They called that play as well. Well,
it's called great coaching.
It was great coaching. And tonight, 0 turnovers, 0 personal fouls, but 29 points for Jaylen Franklin. He leads ACU to a 75-67 win over McNeese. The Wildcats now 3-2 in the Southland Conference. They were 3-2 a year ago, but a very different feel with this team as they head into a 2-game road swing at Incarnate Word on Saturday and at Sam Houston State on Monday. You can catch both of those games right here on the ACU Sports Network. For Jaylen Franklin and for Joe Golding, I'm Grant Boone.